Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Sola here, and I'm back to talk FPL this week as Gameweek 9 is upon us, and I have activated my free hit chip. A lot of this was actually down to the huge mistake I made. Like, oh my days, I've been in so much pain because I made a catastrophic decision in Gameweek 8, which cost me. Instead of selling Yao Pedro for Jared Bowen, I sold Mateta for Jared Bowen, and guess what? Mateta must have a hat trick, and yeah, which cost me about 250,000 places. So I went from 1.2 million down to 1.5 million. So hey, great decision, Shala. Great decision. Just brilliant, brilliant. You just played yourself. Anyways, those of you watching, I hope you do not play yourself like I did last week. And anyways, I digress. Anyways, and if you do enjoy this our content, please just remember to like our videos, subscribe, and set your notifications on, and let us know your thoughts in the comments as well. And without further ado, all right, let's get right into it. All right, so as you can see up on the screen, I got 60 points last week, and like I said, I dropped down to 1.5 million. Not too bad. 60 points on a normal day, it gives you a green arrow, but it was a high scoring week, so unfortunately, I suffered the brunt of it. But anyways, and that's it about my team for Game Week 8. Let's move on from Game Week 8. Now let's talk about my free hit team in Game Week 9. And with that, I start in goal with Nick Pope. So Pope currently has the second best defense. Well, he plays for the team that has the second best defense in Newcastle. So Newcastle have kept 5 clean sheets so far, and they've conceded the second least big chances. And 5 clean sheets is the second best in the league as well. And guess who's better? Arsenal. So I mean, um, they're very good at shutting opponents out. They're very good at not giving up chances, and they have a home fixture. They host Fulham this week, and Fulham are the bottom six for attempts for goal and goals scored. So I mean, I think for me, out of all the options this week, for me, he was the best option in goal. Fulham don't pose much of an attacking threat. They've only scored 8 goals. Again, like I said, which is the sixth worst in the league. So I am confident that Pope can get a clean sheet, and hopefully he can get a save point or two, which will probably lead to more bonus points. Yeah, so that's why I'm going to go with Pope. In defense, I start with Calafiori, who plays for the best defense in the league, like I mentioned earlier. Arsenal. Why I decided to keep him? Well, two reasons. First of all, I already have him. He's already in my team. That's number one. Number two, he didn't play against Atletico Madrid in midweek, meaning he's fully rested. Because Miles Kelly was the one that got the nod ahead of him in that game, and he didn't play. He didn't need to come off at all. He he rested all 90 minutes, so he should be fresh and he should be ready to go against Palace. And we all know how Calafiori is. He bombs forward. He's a goal threat. He already has a goal this season. He's a defender with the most big chances this season. So I mean, and I think at 5.77, I think he's worth the money. And that's just why I decided to keep him. And that's why I just didn't go for Gabriel because this is the player that I already have. And I did decide to double up on Arsenal defense this week because Crystal Palace are a stubborn team. They have been, they're a stubborn team for most teams. So they're a team that can score on any good day. So that's just why I didn't want to go double up. I decided let me just stick with Calafiori to know that I have Arsenal's defense covered in my team. Next up, I'm bringing in Reece James, who has been on my radar for a while. I think I actually mentioned him back in my video in Game Week 7, or was it my Game Week 8 video where I talked about Kukurea. And only reason why I didn't highlight spotlight James in that video, why I just mentioned him in passing, was because Kukurea has just seemed more nailed on. He had started every game at but one at the time. But this week, why I'm bringing in Reece James for two reasons. Number one, again, just similar to Calafiori, he did not play against Ajax in the Champions League, which is good. And second of all, Maluko's still suspended for this fixture, so it only makes sense that Reece James would be the one to get the nod right back. And again, Reece James, again, he did show his attacking potential, his attacking, um, his attacking output in his last game with a goal and assist as well. And we have seen in the past that he's fit and he's going and he's getting games. He is an explosive FPL asset. So I think currently at 5 million, I mean 5.1 million, he is a good differential to have, and he could if he does explode, that could be a nice differential that can help me move up the ranks. Next, I'm staying going back to Newcastle, Kieran Tripper. I'm not really going to touch much on this because I pretty much highlighted everything with Nick Pope. But all I'm going to say is that with Trippier, along with the added ups- um upsides, he does pose an attacking upside as well because he's on set pieces. So there's the chance there for an assist for maybe a corner or a free kick or even a goal from a direct free kick himself. So that's just so that so like I said, yeah, I'm not gonna spend much time on that. That's just what. So those are my three defenders for this week that I'm starting at. Calafiori, James, Trippier. With that, I'm gonna head into midfield, and I start off with Bukayo Saka. Bukayo, he has scored in his last two home games. Which one of the goals in those home games, he took a penalty with Victor Gyökeres on the pitch. So that's encouraging for those that already have Saka or those who want to have Saka long term. That as of now, it looks like he's still the number one penalty taker, even though in the past we have seen Saka share penalties with Odegaard, but I'm hoping that's not the case, at least not this week when I have him. Um, yeah, so with Saka, and again, Saka is Saka. He's their best player. Um, they face a Crystal Palace team that, yes, is tough, but you also have to keep in mind that Palace have conceded in five consecutive games, which includes the conference game league game that they lost tonight when they hosted Lanarka at Sellers Park. Um, what do you call it? So yeah, 8 goals in 5 games, no clean sheets in 5 games for Crystal Palace. So it just shows that Crystal Palace can concede. And I think you more often than not, Saka is usually expected when Arsenal do score goals. He's expected to be involved one way or the other. So that's why he's the Arsenal um attacker that I'm bringing in. I opted, and again to be fair, I opted him instead of Gyökeres because I think just because of that penalty thing that I saw with him taking the penalty when Gyökeres was on the pitch, that was just the edge for me. So that's that with Saka. Next is my punt of this free hit is Jaden Anthony. He's 7% owned right now. He has 4 goals, 1 assist in 8 games, and he's the third highest scoring midfielder in FPL so far. Only Funny enough, only Caicedo, I know, weird, huh? A defensive midfielder has more points than him. Caicedo and Semenyo are the only players that have more are the only midfielders that have more points than Jaden Anthony. And another reason why I really really like this pick is because he faces Wolves away, and Wolves are the only team yet to keep a clean sheet this season. So it just shows that Wolves love to concede a goal, and if he does, and if they do concede, which is very likely because they've shown that they don't know how to keep clean sheets, I would expect Anthony to be involved one way or the other. So up next, I go with Cody Gakpo. Gakpo has he's been probably Liverpool's most consistent attacker this season in terms of FPL returns and minutes. In the sense that, like, yeah, Ekitike um has done well but the problem is with Ekitike, he's been benched a few times now. Especially with Isak. being back, being returning to full fitness. And like for example, Ekitike was best against Manchester United, which personally I was thrilled about because I, I was happy to not see him on the pitch because I actually rate him highly. I think he's a very good player, and he could have caused us problems. But if he started, but again I digress. But going back to Gakpo, he's top of Liverpool's. You know, he tops Liverpool in pretty much every attacking stats. Goals scored, he tops that. Um, Big chances, he tops that. Shots in the box, tops that. Shots, he tops that. So he is he is one of those players that is getting those shots, getting those chances. In fact, against United, he could have scored five, if we're being honest, because he had the free header that he missed. I don't know how he missed that, but thankfully he did. And then he hit the woodwork three times. So on a good day, he could have actually scored five to himself. So yeah. So I mean I think that says a lot about Gakpo and his attacking output and his attacking potential. Again, with Salah being looking like he's falling off a cliff, Gakpo is worth is Gakpo's price is like half of what Salah costs. So again, it's kind of like a no brainer, like to just go for him because again, he's been the most consistent in terms of not just FPL points but minutes as well. Up next is a player that I already had. I just decided to keep him in the team. Ilman Njai. Um, he is Everton's FPL top FPL scorer, and again, he's on penalties, which is one of the main reasons I even have him in the first place. The thing about Njai is that like in six of his eight games, he has delivered a return of some sorts. So those returns include two DEFCON points, three goals, and an assist. So so even if he doesn't get an attacking return, he has that potential to get DEFCON because he's already gotten DEFCON in two games that he didn't return in. So if so, which I frankly I was pleased because I think there was one of them there was a 5 pointer, the other was a 4 pointer. It's better than 2 points or 1 point. I'll take that any day. The only thing about this is that he does face a tough Spurs side, but I think the thing what why I'm starting him is because I did contemplate benching him, but I decided that I might actually start him because Spurs travel to Monaco and they might be tired and fatigued from their Champions League game. And Jai, he's fully rested. He has no Europe, and um, Everton's fixture is the last of the game week. This is the late kickoff on Sunday. So I think he has potential to be an explosive FPL asset, and I think he's also in that mid price range of like 6.5 ish. I believe he costs 6.7 now, but I'll have to check that. But that's just why he's a player I like. He's one I've had since day one. I have no intention on selling him anytime soon, and I am opting to go with him this week in my starting line 11. And completing the midfield is Antoine Semenyo. Yeah, I'm not really going to talk about this because he's a top scoring midfielder. He's been sensational. He's getting the goals. What more can I say about Semenyo? He's 63% owned. At this point, if you don't have Semenyo right now, just quit. Just quit. There's no point. Just quit because I don't know what you're doing. Because even me, I reluctantly got him because I'm like, all right, I can't keep missing out on this guy's points. Luckily, the week I got him, he bagged two. So yeah, you don't want to be that guy where he's bagging points and you don't have it because whenever he highly owned players like him return and you don't have them, it significantly affects your ranking. So if you don't have Semenyo now, I don't know what you're doing. Just quit. Just don't bother. All right, so that completes my midfield. So we go to my forward. This one, best FPL player in the game. There's nothing more to say. He picks himself. Simple as that. All right, and up next, my final starting 11 player is Igor Thiago, Brentford. Now, this pick for me, I think he's potentially the best budget forward in the league right in FPL right now because he costs 6.1 million. And only Haaland and Semenyo have scored more goals than this guy. And only Haaland and Semenyo have more big chances than this guy. Um, so I mean, I don't at 6.1 million, he's a bargain right now, and his ownership too is still very very low. And yes, on paper he faces Liverpool, which on paper is a difficult fixture. But hey, this is a Liverpool team that, like I meant, that we all know lost four in a row and just got back to winning ways midweek against Frankfurt. And even in that game, they conceded a goal. So Liverpool are a team that have kept two clean sheets this season, and they look like a team that can concede anytime. So I mean, I think for the long run, Thiago might be the budget guy. He's someone I'm significantly looking at to be my to be like my one of my forwards in the long run because I like the positions he gets, and I like the fact that exactly half of his shots in the box are big chances. He has 16 shots in the box, and eight of them have been big chances, and he scored five of them. That is clinical. That is efficient, and so that's why I'm looking at him this week as well. Not even just this week, but I'm looking at him potentially for further game weeks down the line. So that completes my starting 11. My bench share, I have Bowen in the bench. Yes, Bowen. This was a tough decision in terms of benching because I brought Bowen in last week because of like this Leeds fixture was one of the reasons I brought Bowen in, but West Ham just looked really, really bad last week. So it was a tough decision, but I had to make a decision, and I'm going with benching him this week. I hope it doesn't come back to bite me in the ass. I really, really hope it doesn't. And I think another thing I've factored in when I was looking at Spurs. Yeah, so I was considering benching Jai, Bowen, or Thiago. Um, for the reasons I gave with Njaya and Thiago or why I didn't bench them. And another thing I with Bowen was that Leeds have Leeds are actually strong at home this week. This season because they do rank the fourth best in the league with what you call this with shots conceded. So they're not giving up a lot of shots, and both their clean sheets have come at home. So I think I think that the home fixtures for Jaya and Thiago as well, just for me, edges them, and that's why I just unfortunately had had to bench Bowen this week because last week when I was bringing Bowen in, I didn't think I was going to be rehitting it. I didn't think I'd have such a disastrous week last week. But hey, that's FPL. That's why we love the game, and that's why we stress ourselves out every week. And the final two are Kilinsky Hartzman and Gabriel Goodmanson of Burnley and Leeds, respectively. So those are just simply budget options to keep on the bench, starting fullbacks, and they're just handy if they're needed. If let's say for example, Reece James gets injured, because we all know that that's a huge possibility. Reece James has been unreliable fitness wise, and he's just all of a sudden not in the squad. One of them can just come in for him, so it's no big deal. Well, anyway, so that is my free hit team for the game week 9. It does it does it's a mix of obviously some premium guys like Saka and Haaland, and the likes of like the informed guys like Gakpo, Semenyo, and Co. So like it's a team that I feel pretty confident about. I hope again. I'm really really hoping I'm not coming here next next week and venting again like I did earlier in this video about Mateta. But anyways, that's where I'm gonna conclude here. So if you did enjoy this video, please do not forget to drop a like. And subscribe. Turn on your notifications just so that you don't miss any content going further from myself and Deshokwe or D-Man rather. And so with that being said, I wish you all the luck on all. I wish you the best of luck in game week 9, and may my and your great arrows be green. Peace.